Well, hello everyone. I hope you're having a blessed and beautiful day today. Today we're going to talk about something that the American administration is passing into the spending bill. It is Executive Order 14067, and it is part of the digital currency, digital access type of executive order. But they're kind of disguising it so people don't question, they don't ask anything, they just kind of go right along with it. It's called C-Day. I'm going to read a portion of an article and then I'm going to go ahead and read a story. It's like a scenario type of thing that is happening. And this says, excuse me. Okay, let's see here. This says Rickards criticized CBDC and labeled it as Bitcoin's evil cousin. He also exposed the supposed singular event called C-Day, which according to him will take place on December 13th of 2022 and will disrupt the traditional financial systems in the US. He said when what he calls C-Day happens, paper money would be worthless and the US dollar would crash. He further added that consumer spending and access to basic needs would also be restricted and people holding too much money would be penalized. Executive Order 14067, entitled Ensuring Responsible Development of Digital Assets, includes developing policy plans and the organization of federal regulators. Any future dollar payment system should be designed in a way that is consistent with United States priorities and democratic values, including privacy protections, and that ensures the global financial system has appropriate transparency and a platform and architecture for transferability. This is just crazy. Okay, so I'm going to read this for you. On December 13th, 2022, America's #1 safe assets could be facing destruction in a singular event called C-Day, the day your financial life changes forever. Okay, an urgent message from Jim Rickards, one of America's top financial forecasters. Okay, and this is just a scenario, so I'm going to read this for you. All right. It should have been a day like any other. You're at the gas station filling up your ride. You head into the store to pay. The cashier says, $77, please. You pull out $80 in cash and slap it on the counter. And she replies, sorry, sir, no cash. We only take cards from now on. You pull out your debit card and swipe it. And she says, thank you, sir. Just so you know, a note on your credit card, on your credit, says you're almost up to your $80 limit in gas for the week. You're getting close to your government allotted carbon emissions for the month. Walking out of the store, you wonder what the heck was she talking about. You drive to your next errand. Along the way, you notice a long line in front of the ATM machine. You stop to check it out. People are walking away from the ATM machine in frustration. You stop and ask what's going on. The machines stop giving cash. Now you feel that little twinge of fear in your gut. You know that feeling. You knew things were getting bad, but surely things were not that bad. You check your phone. No wars, no terrorist attacks, no hurricanes or earthquakes. Still, something is up. It's getting weird fast. You head inside the grocery store to pick up dinner. As you head into the store, you notice long lines at the checkout counters. Anger is in the air, the smell of panic. A woman grabs your arm. They say card only, but my card isn't working. Nobody is taking cash, and they're running out of food. You turn around and head out. Into the parking lot, you send a text to your friend. He's one of those political gun nuts, so maybe he's got some insight to share. Things are getting scary. I went to the sporting goods store to grab some supplies and ammo. They're telling me that based on my Google search history and the websites I've visited, I can't buy anything even with cash. I checked my account and I have plenty of money, but they won't let me spend it. They're saying I'm flagged as a threat. Now I'm going to stop there really quick. There's more to read. But New York is doing that very, very thing. And I'm going to have to look and see when this came out. New York is doing that. You can't purchase a gun unless you show, I think it's 3 years of social media. You have to show 3 years of your social media accounts so that they can, in order to buy a gun, okay? So this is already happening, okay? I don't know when this happened or when this came out. I'll have to look at it. One says his business can no longer take payments from customers. He wonders if it's because he donated to the Freedom for America. Heart sinking, you remember all those donations you made recently. Another friend urgently texts you, none of her cards working either. Her online payments are not going through and her rent is due. You feel yourself start to sweat. Tomorrow is the end of the month. You have a bunch of bills due. Another friend says he's hearing about violence in the streets, people smashing and grabbing whatever they can, banks locking their doors on customers. We already know that this is happening already before this is even out. We've already got the prime time show of people smashing and grabbing. So we've already seen that this is happening before any of this digital stuff. It's just Satan trying to get people accustomed to it so that when it finally happens that you finally say, well, this has been happening for forever. Your mind races, some sort of system-wide banking crash you suspect. You rush home. It's okay, you tell yourself, you're prepared. You have a couple thousand in cash under the mattress, plus you've got your savings account and 401k. You check your banking app on your phone. You're greeted with the following message. Dear customer, please be advised certain purchases may be limited or not be permitted according to federal law. All our ATMs and branches are currently shut down until further notice. If you wish to speak with one of our representatives, please be aware we are experiencing higher than normal call volumes and wait times will be longer than expected. Thank you and have a nice day. You turn on the TV and get the news. Images flash on your screen of long lines at supermarkets and gas stations, stock market indexes in red, riot police and National Guardsmen in the street. The news anchor is nodding his head solemnly. Today, the White House directed banks and other financial institutions to stop doing business with thousands of Americans freezing their personal bank accounts. This is getting ready to happen. This is part of the C-Day that's happening in December. This is getting ready to happen. So, palm sweating, you switch to the financial channel. Chaos on Wall Street today after Congress authorized another round of stimulus payments directly into the spending accounts of every American, a move critics say will only increase the inflationary pressures as prices spin out of control. You flip again. Violent protests continue to spread from the cities into the suburbs in the wake of record unemployment and reports of enforced rationing of electricity and natural gas. They're already doing that. In the distance, you hear sirens, breaking glass. Are those gunshots? It's been a hell of a day. Excuse me. And it's going to be a long night. Make no mistake, C-Day will change your financial life forever. Well, he's saying that the scenario he just described hasn't happened yet. A lot of it has, and a lot of it is on the brink of doing that. Let's see here. And we've been seeing signs popping up everywhere where they don't accept cash. And the reasoning why they don't accept cash is so that it doesn't spread germs. And so they're going to go to a global global payment system. And like the video that I posted the other day, that lady, she made a lot of sense that I didn't even put two and two together until I kind of listened to her, and you can't have a global currency until you have a global government, and you can't have a global government until you have a global leader, and you can't have a global leader until the church is gone. So, and we're seeing all of this take place now, and they're talking about this, and it seems like this currency, this cashless society, is presenting itself at the forefront, and you hear about it every day, and you hear a new country that's starting to do it, or you hear like America, the administration's signing it into law, or into the bill. I'm sorry, I have a really bad headache, so please forgive me if I'm constantly doing this. But the order that he signed, 14067, I'm going to look at that here in a second, and I'll show you exactly what it is. And what's funny is when you have the people trying to debunk it and say, like if you Google it and you say, the order 14067, it'll come up and it'll say fact check. Well, anytime there's a fact check, it means it's true, because they're not going to fact check something that's false, right? Right. They fact check things that are true. Yeah. Let's see here. This is a longer article than I anticipated, but here, let's see here. Let me read this here. C-Day could arrive as soon as December 13th of this year. Like I said, they're putting it in there as a, they're not going to say, oh, this is a digital currency. They're not going to be, they have to be slick and sly in order for it to get in under people's noses. Because if they use words that are biblical, people are going to get the hint, and they're going to say, wait, I've heard that before. Satan is very cunning, and he's very slick, and he's very sly, and he's going to use words that are, that all mean the same thing, but people aren't smart enough to realize it, and they don't really care. There's a lot of people, I have found a lot of people that believe that this digital currency is a good thing, because you won't lose your card, you won't lose certain things. Sorry about that, my kids were coming in. Let's see, when I Google it, it says Executive Order 14067, ensuring responsible development of digital assets, by the authority vested in me as President of the Constitution. Okay, let's see here, what does this say? Okay, we're gonna read this, okay? This is the first time I'm seeing this, so we're gonna read this. This is off of presidency.ucsb.edu. So we're gonna read this. I might not read the whole thing, but we're gonna read this. Something caught my eye on here. March 9th of this year. By the authority vested in me as President by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, it is hereby ordered as follows. Section 1, Policy. Advances in digital and distributed ledger technology for financial services have led to dramatic growth in markets for digital assets, with profound implications for the protection of consumers, investors, and businesses, including data, privacy, and security, financial stability, and systemic risk, crime, national security, and ability to exercise human rights, financial inclusion and equity, and energy demand and climate change. While many activities involving digital assets are within the scope of existing domestic laws and regulations, an area where the United States has been a global leader, growing development and adoption of digital assets and related innovations, as well as inconsistent controls to defend against certain key risks, necessitate an evolution and alignment of the United States government approach to digital assets. We must take strong steps to reduce the risk and that digital assets could pose to consumers, investors, and business protections, financial stability, and financial system integrity, combating and preventing crime and illicit finance, national security, the ability to exercise human rights. All right, let's see. Section 2. It kind of says the same thing. Let me see here. Here, let me read through this, and if I see something else, I'll come back. Here we go. Here we go. The United States must ensure appropriate controls and accountability for current and future digital assets systems to promote high standards for transparency, privacy, and security, including through regulatory governance and technological measures that counter illicit activities and preserve or enhance the efficacy of our national security tools. The digital assets are abused or used in an illicit way or undermine national security, it is the national interest to take action to mitigate these illicit finances and national security risk through regulations, oversight, law enforcement action, or use of other United States government authorities. So you don't do what they want, or you have gone over, or you don't conform, or you abuse, according to them, your money, they will consider you a national security risk and will have law enforcement action or other form of United States government authority. We must reinforce United States leadership in the global financial system and in technological and economic competitiveness, including through the responsible development of payment innovations and digital assets. The United States has an interest in ensuring that it remains at the forefront of responsible development and design of digital assets and the technology that underpins new forms of payments and capital flows in the international financial system. We must promote access to safe and affordable financial services. Many Americans are underbanked, and the cost of cross-border money transfers and payments are high. The United States has a strong interest in promoting responsible innovation that expands equitably access to financial services, particularly for those Americans underserved by a traditional banking system, including by making investments in domestic cross-border funds. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is a long one, but it's basically talking that this is the bill, that the 14067 bill that is going to make cash, they're going digital, is what they're doing. Here we go. Within 180 days of this order, which this was in March, did I say? The Secretary of the Treasury, in consultation with Secretary of State, the Attorney General, the Secretary of Commerce, the Secretary of Homeland Security, the Director of Office of Management and Budget, the Director of National Intelligence, and the heads of other relevant agencies shall submit to the President a report on the future of money and payment systems, including the conditions that drive broad adoption of digital assets, the extent to which technological innovation may influence these outcomes, and the implications for the United States financial system, the modernization of and changes to payment systems, economic growth, financial inclusions, and national security. The report shall be coordinated through the interrogacy process described in Section 3 of this order. Based on the potential United States CBDC design option, this report shall include an analysis of the potential implications of the United States CBDC based on the possible design choice of national interest, the potential implications of the United States that the United States might have on financial inclusion, the potential relationship between CBDC and private sector administer digital assets, the future of sovereign and privately produced money globally, and implications for our financial system democracy. The potential implications for national security and financial crime, including an analysis of illicit financing, risk, sanctions, risks, other law enforcement and national security interests, and implications for human rights. Oh my gosh, I found the sugar. I was scrolling down. I was kind of reading through it. You're not going to believe this. Oh my gosh, you're not going to believe this. Definition for the purpose of this order. You're not going to believe this. Oh my gosh. The term blockchain, we'll get back to that word, refers to distributed ledger technologies where data is shared across a network that creates a digital ledger of verified transactions or information among network participants, and the data are typically linked using cryptography to maintain the integrity of the ledger and execute other functions, including transfer of ownership or value. The term central bank digital currency, CBDC, refers to a form of digital money or monetary value denominated in the national unit of account that is a direct liability of the central bank. The term cryptocurrency refers to a digital asset which may be a medium of exchange for which generation of ownership records are supported through a distributed ledger technology that relies on cryptography such as blockchain. The term digital assets refers to all CBDCs regardless of the technology used and the other representations of value, financial assets, and instruments or claims that are used to make payments or investments or transmit or exchange funds. For example, digital assets include cryptocurrency, stablecoins, and CBDCs. Regardless of the label used, a digital asset may be, among other things, a security, a commodity, a derivative, or other financial product. Digital assets may be exchanged across digital assets trading platforms, including centralized and decentralized finance platforms. Okay, sorry. That was basically it. December 13th of this year. This is where it's going. And people like to say, well, it has to get passed, right? It was passed. It was passed in a spending bill that the Republicans signed off on. Now, if I'm wrong on that, and it wasn't passed, it will be passed because there's an election coming in November. that the Republicans will not win, because this is already started. We know that it's already started because you can go into different places and no cash is accepted. So we know that this is already starting. And this was in March. So it's not going to go back. It can't go back. Countries are becoming global blockchain. We're going to talk about that blockchain. I have to be careful with what I say. And a lot of you haven't joined my Telegram, so I can't. If you guys were over there, I could make a video over there and just let it all out. But I'll talk in code. So blockchain, which I knew when it came out, I was kind of investigating, and I'm thinking, wait a minute here. Remember the old? What does it have? It has blockchain, right? Well, blockchain is a tracking. That's what they're going to use in this to track. So if has that in there, yeah. It's not the MOB. That's not out yet because the church is still here. The MOB cannot happen until the church is gone. However, it softened people. People rushed out. They're still rushing out. They're doing it to their little ones. They're doing it multiple times. They don't realize that they have fallen for the system. And after the rapture happens, there's going to be a lot of people missing, and they have to have a way to do a head count. So that's what they're going to use. That's what the man of sin is going to use to do a head count. We need a digital currency. We need to know where everybody's at, what they're buying, what they're spending their money on, what they're eating. We don't want them eating meat. We want them eating bugs, right? Yeah, and this was off of the presidency website, from the horse's mouth.
That's it. Guess what?
Yeah, this is, this is why I have been saying that I believe that the rapture is going to happen this year. I'm sorry. My kids. This is why I'm saying that the rapture is going to happen this year. Because of all of this stuff that's happened, the trickery that's going on. People aren't being shown and told the truth. They just think that it's a Republican or a Democrat. It's right or left. It's red or blue. It's, if onlys. They're dealing with the if onlys. If only we can win the House. If only we can win seats, then things will go back to normal. Things will be fine. Things will, everybody's saying, well, if we can win the House, we can win seats, then we can do all of these things. It's not going to happen. It's over. Okay? It was over when the administration got in. This is to be implemented, again, I'm going to say it again, in December of this year. We can't be here to see this because it's going global. That means that there has to be somebody to implement it, and there has to be a government that they're all together on this. That's why they go to these G7 summits. That's why they are, I just saw something. Let me read this. I just saw this. My administration will elevate the importance of these topics and expand engagement with our critical international partners, global, including such as the G7. Wow, if that wasn't the Holy Spirit. The G7, the G20, and the FSB. My administration will support the ongoing international work and, where appropriate, push for additional work to drive development and implementation of these standards, cooperation and coordination, and information sharing. With respect to digital assets, my administration will seek to ensure that our core democratic values are respected. Let me read that again. My administration will seek to ensure that our core democratic values are respected. Appropriate global financial system connectivity and platform and architecture interoperability are preserved, and the safety and soundness of the global financial system and international monetary systems are maintained. If that wasn't the Holy Spirit, I don't know what was. I read this whole thing and I stopped right there. And I was talking about the G7 just now, and I looked over and it says G7 right there. Wow. I don't remember reading that. Wow. Okay. There was a lot in that. Anyways, guys, this video is going to be long. Wow. If you don't know Jesus, I highly, highly suggest that you get your life in order now. You don't have much time. The trumpets can sound literally any second. I'm not even joking, you guys. You know, I know you've heard it for years. I know you've heard it said over and over again. But the difference between people back, let's say in the 70s, 80s, saying that Jesus was coming soon, and the difference between that and now is the prophecy wasn't fulfilled then. There had to be certain things that needed to be fulfilled in order for the end to come. We are at the end. Everything that has been prophesied for the rapture of the church has happened. Everything we are seeing is tribulation events, okay? We have to be out of here. There has to be a global leader in order to put this into motion, okay? The United States is just a little part of it. There has to be a global leader to put this in motion. You need to get yourself saved, and you need to do it now. And how do you get saved? How do you get saved? You believe that Jesus died on the cross for your sins. You believe that he shed his blood for you. You believe that he died and he rose again, and that he is coming again to save you. You will be eternally saved. Eternally saved. You cannot lose your salvation. You are eternally saved. He died for you, and he died for your eternity. Okay? He died so that you would spend your eternity with him. And the definition of eternity and eternal is never ending. You cannot take yourself out of his hands. Once you believe that he is Jesus Christ and that he has died and rose again, you are saved, sealed, and that's it. You are his. You are his child. So, I'm going to let you go because this is a long one. I have a headache. I'm going to go lay down, but this is crazy nutso. So, I encourage you to please do not wait for the rapture. Don't say, I'm going to wait and see how this plays out. Please don't do that. Please don't make that decision, because you don't know where you're going to be when the rapture happens. What if you're flying somewhere and the rapture happens? Guess what? What if the pilot's a Christian? You're going to hell if you have not accepted Christ and the rapture happens. You will go to hell, okay? I don't want that for you. I want you to be saved and sealed, and I want you to go to heaven, okay? I want you to go in the rapture before it happens. I don't want you to wait until after it happens and then decide, hey, you know. But anyways, guys, I'm going to let you go. Thank you for sticking around. It's a long video, and I appreciate you. Please keep my marriage in prayer, as I mentioned yesterday, and please keep both of us in prayer. The enemy is fighting tooth and nail in these last moments, and, you know, it is what it is. But Anyways, guys, I love you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.